Hello, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, this is my second attempt at a mandala, so I've done one attempt already. This is one I did kind of learning some mistakes I may have made to correct this time around. But right now what I'm doing is finding the center of my shirt, and I just mark it with a washable marker on the front and the back. And then I'm doing the sleeve and side sleeve method. This method is done to make sure that the front and the back of the shirt look the most similar. So if you just fold a shirt just directly in half, one half of the shirt is going to be a lot darker than the other half. If you do it this way, there's not as much fabric layer between the front and the back, and so they look more similar. So anyway, here I am folding it up into a quarter fold, and then I kind of took one side in and folded it like an airplane fold. My son, I just need to get out in front of this, really wants to be in my YouTube videos, and so he's always trying to get his little hands in here. I let him do it on this one, so you'll see his cutie little hands. I told him no no face shots, but you can see his hands throughout this. So anyway, he's cute. All right, so then I took a washable marker and I drew some zigzag lines to just kind of give me a guideline. This zigzag line I just did, those first two are really deep. So you're gonna see here I probably won't be able to actually follow along those lines, but they were just more of a guideline. So here I'm trying to hit that diagonal. This is my hardest one. I still cannot figure out how to get that first one to be on a diagonal because it just wants to be a straight line. You can see there, like the diagonal, it's barely a diagonal. So anyway, I just keep trying with that. Here I tied it about 3 times, and then I pulled the sinew, and then there I pulled it another 2 times and pulled the sinew again. Oh, and I did it again. So this one I really wanted the stark white lines, because if you watched my last one, the mandala got totally lost. So for this one, I really was trying to get it as tight as I possibly could. Here I'm pulling it up on this diagonal. The second one, you can see I just it was it was a really deep diagonal. I learned going forward not to make those angles so sharp. Leo, this is my son, his little hands. Anyway, so I'm just doing it again, just wrapping it, a couple more times, pulling it tight, making it so that that line will show through. And here I'm doing the third line. With this one, I like to go under the bottom. That tends to, if I do it right, keep each of the sections a little tighter, so there's not as much of a gap between the 2 sections. I don't know if it actually worked that time, but I tried. And here is the last little section. Alright, so that is how I tied it up. The colors I used were coral pink and just a couple of the little sections in the mandala area. And then I did a purple Powerberry on the other sections. What I tried to do on this mandala that was different from the other one is not use as much red, because red went under the sinew lines a lot. So for this one, I tried to use not as much red, and I also tried to make the mandala part a different color than the exterior so that hopefully it wouldn't get lost. So there I'm adding more of the Powerberry to that little second section, and I used Alchemist for the exterior part of the mandala. I just kind of sprinkled it on as much as I could. If I were to do this again, I'd probably do the dye on top of the ice, just because I find it travels a lot farther if I do that, but it's fine. All right, and then you can see I put the pool noodle down there on the very bottom. That just kind of keeps the fabric from bunching and falling at the bottom. And then I'm adding the ice to the gutter as best I can. And then I've got this little container that I set it up in so that the water runoff goes into this little tote and it is on an incline. So I add as much ice as I can, and then I gently, very gently put it in there and then add as much more ice as I want on top of it. So, oh, there you go. Yeah, so I did add a little bit more Alchemist on the top at the end there. All right, so here's the rinse out. You can already see that the mandala area does not look that much different than the exterior area. And so I was like, oh no, did I do it again? And spoiler alert, yes, I kind of did. This one is a little bit better, but the mandala still got pretty lost. And I think it's just because I'm trying to do these gravity dyes. This purple takes a really long time to rinse out, so that's what you're seeing here. I didn't even do that much Powerberry, but it takes a really long time to rinse out. I rinse in cool water, and then I bump the water up to hot, and I try to get out as much of the excess dye there as I can, and then I use Blue Dawn dish soap to get it really sudsy and rinse that out. And then I wash it in my washing machine on a hot wash cycle. Sometimes I use Synthropol if I have it on hand. That just gets out even more excess dye. Some people don't ever use Synthropol, they just use regular detergent, but I like to do the best I can to get it out as much as I possibly can because I sell my stuff. I just want to really make sure that it doesn't bleed onto other things. All right, so here's the final result. You can kind of see the mandala on this one, but it's still kind of lost, and I think it's just because I did the gravity. The purple traveled really far. Anyway, it turned out really cool. Stay tuned. I've got my third attempt posting next. See you soon.